Welcome in the official Rbee Podcast. Yes, today we're gonna talk about goat talk, right? But first, I gotta put in my listen. I do FanDuel here and there. I gotta put in my bets, right? So if I'm not engaging with y'all, hey, please subscribe to the channel once you come in. This is goat talk. That's what I'm talking about today. What makes a person, meaning an entertainer, an athlete, the GOAT? Is it milestones, accomplishments, or money, right? Because people got their own definition of GOATs, right? They got their own definition of GOATs as far as music and athletes. As far as football, I don't believe we got a GOAT, right? We probably say Tom Brady the GOAT because he got 7 rings, right? We say MJ is the GOAT because he got 6 rings, right? But I feel like every generation have a GOAT, right? When it comes to music, when it comes to sports, entertainment, I believe every generation have a GOAT, right? It depends on what generation you grew up in. For instance, when you talk about my generation, when it comes to basketball, we're going to say that Michael Jordan is the GOAT, right? In my generation as well, some people are going to say in music that Tupac was the GOAT or Biggie was the GOAT, you know? And when it comes to pop music, R&B or pop, you're going to say that MJ was the GOAT, Michael Jackson. So every generation got their own GOAT. Because back then, you could say Walt Chamberlain was the GOAT or Kareem was somebody's GOAT. Like, at the end of the day, the GOAT stamp can span many generations, right? And it can change. But like I've been talking about most of this week is Drake, right? Jay-Z is labeled as a GOAT, right? That's what people in the generation of my generation, right? Because Tupac and Biggie is no longer with us, right? So we consider Jay-Z the GOAT, right? But now you got another generation. So Jay-Z is well off in his 50s, right? I feel like at this time, it is time to pass the torch in hip-hop, right? Like I said, everybody got a GOAT in their generation. And I can't argue with anybody that's saying that Drake is the GOAT of their generation, right? Because the milestones and accomplishments, it speaks for itself. Plus the money, if you want to throw the money in, the charts, all those things, right? I'm not opposed to the younger people or some people in my generation calling Drake the GOAT because he have surpassed Jay-Z in the music, right? So look, I'm basing this whole segment off GOAT talk. Y'all see Kobe in the back. I got Michael Jordan down here at the bottom, right? I don't really want to move my chair that much, but we're talking GOAT talk, right? And like I said, I got to put my bets in. I'm not going to make it long because I actually bet on baseball as well as basketball. Listen, only bet what you are willing to lose when it comes to FanDuel, when it comes to betting. Only bet what you can afford to lose. But as far as this GOAT talk, people have LeBron James as GOAT. And I'm not arguing with none of this stuff, man. Like, people will argue if MJ is the GOAT over LeBron. And it's really, the argument, you really can't make the argument because, like I said, like it's only opinion based, right? One thing I can say is numbers don't lie, right? We know LeBron have surpassed a lot of people. Like he's the top dude, right? When it comes to NBA, right? But when people say GOAT, they want to stick in their mind. We always stick to opinions, but the fact of the matter, when you're talking about numbers, because numbers is milestones, right? When you become the GOAT, we're talking numbers. We're talking about milestones, accomplishments, right? When we talk about this generation, I'm going to be honest with everybody because y'all talk about this GOAT talk all the time, right? On all these platforms. I got to go with this generation. LeBron is the GOAT of this generation. Hands down. That's just what it is. In the music scene, Drake is the GOAT of this generation, surpassing Jay-Z as the GOAT. Even if y'all want to go to the list and say my top 10 rappers or my top 5 rappers, right, is this. If you want to even separate it to artists, because they all artists, right? Drake is the GOAT as an artist. That's what we're going to say, right? Just like MJ was the GOAT in his generation. Nobody surpassed MJ. But guess who's on the way and on pace to pass MJ? It's Drake. So we got to give the man his flowers. But we're not just going to stick to Drake being the GOAT. We can talk about boxing. We can say who's the GOAT in boxing. We got to go with Mayweather. He never lost a fight. He's a GOAT, right? So like I said, some of these arguments can be all opinion-based, but if you want to go to the facts, when the facts speak, you're going to see a different GOAT. When it's facts, when it's milestones, when it's accomplishments, when it's numbers, you're going to see a different GOAT. That's how I feel about anything. So if Drake surpassed Jay-Z far as hit records in music, like far as making hit singles, he's the GOAT as an artist. When we talking basketball, modern day, LeBron is the GOAT of basketball, if we're talking milestones and accomplishments. In boxing, Mayweather is the GOAT in boxing, hands down. So now, this is our culture, like far as, I'm talking about the black culture. Far as white culture, I don't know who's the GOAT in those. Taylor Swift, shit, is the GOAT in the conversation when it comes to that music that they listen to. Far as, I don't know who's the GOAT in country, but I'm just saying there's GOATs on every level, right? When it comes to this entertainment business. And I really don't want to bore y'all with this GOAT talk. And I'm not going to be long-winded with the GOAT conversation because when people do podcasts, they argue about these things and it's only opinion-based. We know if we do facts and we do milestones, the numbers is always going to speak for itself. We can say, oh, this is opinion-based. That's like we in the Army, who's the best sniper, right? Numbers matter. Milestones matter. Who's the best soldier? Who's the best boxer? Who's the best fighter in MMA? Like, you got to look at the numbers and you got to look at the people that haven't lost, right? You got to look at that. You got to understand numbers matter. When we talking about football and you're talking about Brady, he got 7 rings, accomplishments, milestones, all type of stuff matter. That's just how I look at it. That's when you're talking about GOAT talk, right? But in generations, like I said, we got different GOATs. Like James Brown might have been somebody GOAT before Michael Jackson. Prince might be somebody GOAT. Like I said, it's opinion-based, but when it comes to numbers, Michael Jackson, during that time, nobody was touching the numbers that Michael Jackson was doing as far as in our culture. Just like now with Drake, right? Y'all can not like the guy. But numbers-wise, he's doing numbers. LeBron James, y'all cannot like him. He's doing numbers. Y'all going to miss these people. I'm going to be honest with y'all. Y'all going to miss these people because I remember when Michael Jordan was doing his thing It was the same damn talk. Like, oh yeah, Michael Jordan ain't the greatest. Michael Jordan ain't this. Drake ain't this. It's the same talk all the time. You know, LeBron James ain't this. It's the same talk. But once these people retire, even with Kobe, oh, Kobe ain't this. But when these guys are gone and they retire, then y'all start thinking about, damn, these guys was on top of their game. And that's the truth. Like, I can't argue with people that ain't going to bring no facts into the discussion, because the discussion is numbers. The discussion is milestones. The discussion is who's the top in every category. That's what the discussion is. It's about that. So if we looking at numbers, then yes, these two, them people that I just talked about is the GOAT of these people generation. Yes, Michael Jordan is a great player. Yes, he's great. But in my generation, we label Jordan as the GOAT. But LeBron have passed up Michael Jordan milestone-wise, so he's the GOAT. You know, I don't know if it can be two GOATs. I don't know if it can be two GOATs in music. We keep on speaking about Jay-Z being the GOAT, right? In every Billboard spot, right? But if you look at the numbers, right? Can you label Drake as the GOAT? Because he's about to pass Jay-Z up. Can we really put him in that spot? Because you don't have to know, you don't have to be lyrical to be the GOAT, right? Because in my mind, Tupac was the GOAT, right? In other people's mind, Tupac is the GOAT, right? But it's opinion-based, right? Now that you got new people, it hops over to the next person. Like Jay-Z was the GOAT. Now you're looking at Drake. He's doing numbers, milestones. He accomplishing everything. Music-wise, he passed up Jay-Z. Music-wise, he about to pass up Michael Jackson. He supports R&B, rap, and pop. He check all boxes. So at the end of the day, the GOAT talk can go on and on and on for generations and generations. We won't come to an agreement who's the GOAT, because it's always going to go based off opinion-based and not facts. Okay, this is Hot Biz, right? Podcast. If you're not subscribed to my podcast, please hit the button. It costs you nothing. I got to get into these bets, right? Because baseball about to start. I got to throw a couple dollar bets in there. Listen, like when I'm telling y'all about betting, right? I'm not telling y'all to bet. Only bet what you're willing to lose. Don't bet your life savings on games and things like that. I'm going to be honest with you. And if you have a problem, please, if you have a gambling problem, listen, call a number. Go seek help, right? Because it can get extreme if you got a gambling problem or addiction or whatever it is. I don't even want to speak on it because we're talking GOAT talk. But at the end of the day, subscribe to my channel. Until next time, peace and love. This is the official Hot Biz Podcast. Yeah, GOAT talk. GOAT talk.